And what is good? It is your boy, Mr. Friends from MrFriendsProductions.com, and I'm back for this second beat structure that I'm going to do for you. Okay, starting from the beginning. So I don't know if you've seen the last videos, but in this one, we are going to take a slightly different route when it comes to structuring, okay? So first off, let's listen to what we got. We have this track right here, which is a loop containing about 3 sounds. Awesome, and then that is paired up with these drums here. Okay, good. So what we're going to do is, as per usual, we are going to distribute every single one of these drums into their own individualized clips so we can place them on the playlist easily. So all I have to do, basically, like what I did right there, you just go to pattern 1, you go to split by channel, and then voila, you have all of your clips tracked out for you, okay? So you can easily manipulate them on the playlist because that's what you need to do to be able to get a structure. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to do the same thing for my full track as well, or for my loop, because you can literally just loop that over and over and over again. It'll probably be pretty dope, but the problem is that you're not going to have any control over the individualized sounds, and when it comes to structure, that's what you kind of want to do, just to kind of keep the ears guessing, and it just basically adds more vibe to the beat, and it tricks the ears also to, it tricks the ears in thinking that it sounds completely different, where really all you're doing is just adding more sounds and subtracting sounds. Okie dokie, so I got to find this loop actually first. 142, is it here? Yeah, that's it. All right, cool, so get rid of that one. I'm going to bring in my chords, bring in my harp, and my strings as well. Cool, awesome. So, just starting out, I'm going to make sure that I label this my introduction. Done. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to listen to individual melodic sounds, because obviously anytime you start a song, you generally want to start with some form of melodic component to hook the listener into the song or the beat. Okie dokie, so I'm just going to listen to the chords right now. Love them. All right, I'm going to listen to it with the harp section. I'm going to listen to the chords with the string component as well. Good, awesome. So what I'm going to start this beat with for the introduction is the string section and the chords. Now, the reason why I'm starting, generally, when you start songs or whatnot, generally speaking, you kind of want to start with some form of a harmonic structure. So meaning like piano chords, guitar chords, anything that basically is 2 or more notes played together to form a chord. And it kind of establishes the mood of the song, okay? So I have the chords going, and I'm also going to have the strings going as well to add that atmosphere. And also what I'm going to do too is I'm going to turn down everything slightly, because I know my drums are not going to be as loud as these. Awesome. So unlike the last 2 beats that I did, I'm actually going to most likely keep these in 8-bar loops rather than 4-bar loops. And the reason why is because it's pretty much the same thing all the way through, definitely when it comes to the chords, and I think also when it comes to the harp, but the strings actually go up in pitch at the end here. Okay, so I want to make sure that I capture that. Okay, so my introduction, 4 to 8 bars, generally speaking, is where you want to kind of you want to start at, because 4 measures is usually a little bit too quick for people to kind of adjust to the feeling of the song. Okay, 8 bars is about right, okay? Especially if you have something that's different going on, like with the string section, there's that pitch that goes up, this right here, and then it goes down, voila, done. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to duplicate this, and now I'm gonna start my verse. Now the verse number 1, I have to kind of get a vibe going, okay? I'm not exactly sure what I want to bring in next. Also, another thing I'm going to do as well, instead of actually duplicating this loop from the start here, I'm going to cut this loop in half and bring in the, actually, you know what? I'm going to keep my chords the same. However, I'm going to take the first half here. Now, the reason why is because if you listen, any form of string sound doesn't come in with a quick attack. It fades in, okay? Because that's just how strings are generally played. So it feels kind of unnatural when like the strings are going and then they kind of dip down in sound or in volume. See what I mean? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna put it over here. Sounds a little bit more natural, you know what I mean? Now here's the problem though. As I'm doing this, I'm getting that pitch up, which I don't want. So I'm going to have to actually take that out, cut in the other half here, and replace it, okay? This is just maneuvering loops. Sometimes you just got to do it. And of course, you got to listen to make sure it sounds good. Perfect. There you go. Okay? All right, now there's other things you can do too, is like, you know, you can crossfade the loops and stuff like that. I'm not gonna get into that yet. Try and actually fix the problem on the grid first so that you don't have to do anything fancy schmancy, okay? Okay, so now I gotta figure out what I wanna bring in. I'm gonna bring in some drums now. I'm not gonna bring in the harp quite yet. Okay, so I had a sort of a vibe going on. I'm definitely going to bring in my backbeat when it comes to my snare drum. So I'm going to bring in that first. Hear how it sounds. Cool. Now, snare drum by itself sounds kind of lame. So I'm also going to bring in a crash too. I want the crash to come in to add a little bit of a vibe. You know what I mean? What I'm going to do too is I'm actually going to turn up these sounds just ever so slightly so I don't have to keep turning down the drum sounds. Okay, got a good vibe here. I'm going to try with my hi-hats as well. Cool. Got to duplicate my strings because I want the overall ambience of the strings to remain the same, okay? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to listen from the very, very beginning to make sure that I'm getting the sort of vibe that I want, okay? Because I don't want to start like trailing off into different directions and all that sort of stuff quite yet. I want to make sure that I have the right vibe by starting the beat from the beginning. Turn down the hi-hats a bit too. Okay, now I want the kick to come in right here. Okay, cool. Now, next, pay close attention to this. I want to instigate that there's about to be a change in the beat right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the original loop of the strings and have it start pitching up here. Check it out. Cool, great. So, in that case, this right here is building up tension. So now I want to bring in my 808 and everything else. Okay. Yeah, so bring in my 808. Bring it down here. Okay, good. Now, here's the biggest thing. Right now, I'm actually going past my 16 measure limit when it comes to a verse. The verse might be actually too long, okay? So in this case, basically you could either make this a 32 measure verse, but that could also be really, really long as well. So you know what I'm going to do? Instead of the intro going into the verse, I'm going to have it go into the hook, okay? So I'm going to replace this with a hook badge, chook, hook. Oh, did I almost do it again? All right. And another thing I'm going to do as well is I'm going to add in my harp that instigates or lets, I hope I'm actually using the word instigate right, but it lets the listener know that the hook is actually happening, okay? All right, here we go. There we go. Verse. Good. So right here, I have, I believe, let me see here. A 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, this is a 16 measures type of verse. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in an interlude part. Okay. So this is not going to be sort of like, the similar sort of structure that we're doing for the past ones. Okay. What I'm doing is I'm kind of getting a feel and I'm kind of getting a vibe for what the actual, the artist would actually want in this sort of beat. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put interlude here. And it's just going to be sort of like, a 4 to 8 measure sort of break, okay? Now, I got to feel out what that's going to mean. Also, I'm going to have the interlude just with a crash, add vibe. Now I'm going to have another verse and then a hook. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm literally just going to copy this over. Because I'm feeling this is actually more of like a ballad sort of track, okay? So this is the chill sort of part. No singing or like chanting. You could have chanting in this sort of part. Then we're going to bring in another verse. Verse number 2. So right here, just to add a little bit of tension for the second part of the verse number 2, I just dropped out the drums 1 full measure right before it kicks back in. So it's going. I'm going to have a hook. Okay, so I'm just going to take this over and label this as hook. All right. I'm going to make the hook now 16 measures rather than 8 measures to add a little bit of bump to it. And really all I'm just going to do with the drums is I'm just going to copy and paste the drums with the 808. All right. I'm also going to add a bit of tension by dropping out the drums 1/2 measure from when it comes back in. Now it's another interlude part, okay? Cool. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do another verse. Verse number 3. Good. And basically just, kind of do the same thing that I did with the second verse, except maybe just slightly different. I do want the drums to come back in, maybe smashing, maybe actually just a little bit more chill. So I'm going to take out the kick. I'm going to take out, I'm basically going to take everything out except for the hi-hat and the snare drum. And also I'm going to take out the crash. So let's hear how it sounds. So it's chill. No 808 though, kick only. And then another hook, okay? So this sort of like third verse would be sort of like capping off the point of what the artist basically wants to say. Any final points or notes and all that sort of stuff. And then we're gonna have another hook, and then we're done basically with the beat. Oh, make sure I actually hit shift. There you go. And chill. Good. Let me actually clean that up a bit. So what I want, what I can do is I'm actually going to take the full-on loop here, drag it out just like that. It's not... and then done. So that is a different way of doing structure. So basically in this sort of structure, we have an introduction. We have a hook that comes in first. The hook, again, is also known as the chorus. I actually should have labeled these chorus rather than hook. Hook and chorus are the same thing, essentially. Then we have a verse, we have an interlude to kind of calm everything down. We have second verse, a hook. The thing is that this sort of structure is common, but it's not as common as like the last ones we did. You know what I mean? But I wanted to kind of get a little bit more creative for you guys to kind of feel out what different forms of structures. Or else there's kind of no point of just doing the same thing over and over again. It's like, okay, you get it. Verse, chorus, verse, chorus, verse, chorus. adding little interludes and stuff like that actually adds a different dimension to the beat. So that's the reason why, structure-wise, it's good for me to demonstrate that sort of stuff. Okay, so yeah, this actually came out pretty good. Now here's another thing too. I didn't use all the sounds. I didn't use the open hi-hat. That's okay. Didn't use the open hi-hats. I didn't think it really needed it. I thought it actually kind of cluttered up the beat a little bit, but that's cool too. So all right, this is the second one. This is Mr. Frenzy from MrFrenzyProductions.com. You got any questions, please let me know in the comments below. And also, please like, comment. I already said that. Subscribe, especially if you used or if you liked any of this information in this tutorial or any of my tutorials. Even if you didn't use them. Just liking them is fine. All right, I'll see you later.